Every year was as utterly baffling as the last. When I worked in a city centre coffee shop, Boxing Day would begin with a glut of weary women pouring through our glass double doors not long after we'd opened, laden with plump red bag after plump red bag from the next Boxing Day sale. It started at what time? 6 a.m.? You started queuing at what time? 4 a.m.? For clothes? The first time I came across it my mind was boggled. Could not compute. After the slew of early morning shoppers, it would be relatively calm as there wasn't an awful lot to come into the city for. New Year's Day, too, would be eerie on our way into work as every other shop front was shuttered. By lunchtime we would be jam-packed with stragglers who had come into the city centre for a look around only to find the place a ghost town. Mostly it was tourists, holiday makers who didn't realize the entire country was also on holiday. Now, in the city centre, you're spoiled for choice on New Year's Day. No need to stay home when you can head into town. My memory might be playing tricks, but around that time, I'm sure, Next was a one-off for its early opening hour, which was why the sale created such a legion of annual fans. Not so now. This year Matalan advertised 4 a.m. opening hours for some of its stores. Yesterday at the Inter Victoria Centre in Nottingham, shoppers queued from 2 a.m., their Christmas dinners still halfway along their alimentary canals. That's barely enough time to have digested the cliffhanger from the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special before heading to the shops. Marks & Spencer got in ahead of the crowd by starting its online sale at 5 p.m. on Christmas Day. And this is where the annual hand-wringing about gross consumerism begins, but now we have an added tension, the environmental impact. Of course we've long known that consumerism has a negative environmental impact, but this year it can't be ignored. Greta Thunberg has made sure of that. As Australian bushfires rage out of control, as children strike for climate action, and as Donald Trump ties himself in knots over what wind is or isn't, we simply can't justify the unfettered desire for stuff that washes over us come Christmas time. Yet, as the planet is dying, so too is the high street. This year Scotland has seen some of the worst sales figures on record, with store after store folding and hundreds of jobs being made redundant. Sales yesterday were expected to fall by 12.4% on last year in real-life shops, although online sales were expected to rise by 10%. Boxing Day, for many retailers, remains the busiest in the calendar year, and, against such bleak trading conditions, who can grudge them it? Not everyone making the journey to the high street will be buying an entirely unnecessary set of hair straighteners to replace the nigh-on identical set. For more on this story, visit the news article link.